Hey everyone, it's been popping up all over my feed lately, the iBUYPOWER Element 9260 gaming desktop. I kept seeing it in build guides and Reddit threads, so I figured it was time to plug it in, fire it up, and give you the real deal. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First impression? This thing looks way sharper in person than it does in the stock photos. The tempered glass side panel shows off the clean black and red build, and the RGB lighting on the front panel actually gives off a soft glow instead of screaming neon. It's the kind of machine that doesn't scream gamer box but still feels premium when you're sitting at your desk. Inside you've got an Intel Core i7-9700F8 real cores, no hyper-threading, but it still handles modern titles like Cyberpunk or Battlefield without breaking a sweat. I ran a few benchmarks and the single core scores are right where you'd expect for a 9th gen chip, so older esports games like CS2 or Valorant feel buttery smooth. The NVIDIA GTX 1660Ti with 6GB of VRAM is the real workhorse here. It's not a 40 series card, but it still pushes 1440p high settings in most 2020-era games at around 60 frames per second. If you're mostly playing single-player RPGs or competitive shooters, you're set for the next couple of years without needing an upgrade. Memory and storage are solid. 16GB of DDR4 is plenty for multitasking, streaming, and gaming all at once. The 240GB SSD is fast enough to boot Windows in your favorite titles in under 10 seconds, and the 1TB HDD gives you room for a decent game library without breaking the bank. I cloned my Steam folder over and still had 700GB free, so you won't be deleting anything anytime soon. Connectivity is one of those things you don't think about until you need it. On the back you've got 6 USB 3.0 ports, 2 USB 2.0, Gigabit Ethernet, and Wi-Fi 5. That's enough to run a monitor, keyboard, mouse, headset, external drive, and still have a couple of spares for a controller or VR headset. I plugged in my Oculus Quest 2 and the connection stayed stable even when I was downloading a big update in the background. Setup is honestly the easiest part. iBUYPOWER ships Windows 10 Home pre-installed, so you just plug it in, create your Microsoft account, and you're good to go. I did a quick Windows update, installed GeForce Experience, and the drivers were already there. No hunting around for disks or serial numbers, just power on and play. I also like that the case has decent airflow. The front mesh pulls in cool air, the rear 120mm fan exhausts it, and the top has a vent if you ever want to add another fan. Temps stayed in the mid-70s Celsius under load, which is totally normal for this generation of hardware. Now, let's talk about a couple of things that aren't perfect. First, the 1660Ti is starting to show its age. If you're looking at 4K gaming or ultra settings in the newest titles, you'll need to upgrade sooner rather than later. Second, the included keyboard and mouse are basic. They get the job done, but if you're used to mechanical switches or a gaming-grade mouse, you'll probably swap them out pretty quickly. Overall, though, this desktop hits a sweet spot for most gamers. It's fast enough for today's games, quiet enough to live on a desk, and priced so you're not taking out a second mortgage. If you want a plug-and-play rig that won't leave you waiting for parts or dealing with compatibility headaches, this one's worth a look. Check it out using the link below if it sounds like the right fit for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. For most buyers, the real question is not whether iBUYPOWER gaming PC computer desktop Element 9260, Intel Core i7-9700F 3.0 GHz, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660Ti 6GB, 16GB DDR4, 240GB SSD, 1TB HDD, Wi-Fi and Windows 10 Home. Black sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like system and graphics actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off.